Have you seen this Japanese artist? She turns actual bread into real lamps. It literally looks like it's from a fairy tale. Now I just gotta make my very own bread lamp. Now I just need to figure out exactly what I need. And after lots of research, I have a pretty good idea of the stuff that I need.
I surprisingly have everything on the list besides the baguette and the croissant.
The two most important ingredients. So I'm not entirely sure what store sells baguettes and croissants. I have one that I'm gonna try out and see what they have. For some reason, I thought baguettes were way more expensive. This was only $1.49. And the croissants too, these were only $4. Okay, so now we have all the materials. We're ready to get started. And a few extras, just in case I mess up.
I started off by cutting off the bottom of the croissant and then removing the insides. I wanted it thin enough for the light to pass through, but not too thin so it would break. I even got a snack on some bread guts along the way.
Which definitely isn't the worst part.
After I finished cutting up the baguette, I grabbed some extra cardboard I had laying around and I cut it up into these little stands to help raise the bread during the resin pouring process.
It's time. So I've worked with epoxy a few times before this. That's why I have so much. We're only gonna need a little bit for this and hopefully it works out well because I've never used it on bread.
Once I set up my laboratory, I grabbed my kitchen scale and measured out the epoxy.
By far one of the most satisfying parts. Just look at it. But it's also super tiring. Okay, so it's just been about 5 minutes.
The next step was the most satisfying part, pouring the resin over the actual bread. Definitely my favorite part of the whole process.
Now it's time to get rid of any air bubbles, a little bit of heat.
The heat from the heat gun makes all these tiny little air bubbles rise to the surface and pop.
Been around 3 or 4 days. I put around 3 or 4 coats of resin on the top and the inside of each bread, but you've got to see it.
And now they're fully preserved in the thick toxic resin.
You would literally never even know that these were actual bread. They're like plastic toys. So now there's only one last step with our bread creations.
And that is hot gluing our lights in. I used the hot glue gun to attach the lights on the inside, and then I ended up putting the switches on the inside too so that they were hidden and you couldn't see them. In my original plan, I was supposed to put a backing on the breads so that the lights were not visible from the outside, but I just decided to scrap that idea and just make it more simple.
The lamps are officially finished. Now it's time to see if they work. Bronk, pull the lever.
Moment of truth.
3, 2, 1. Look at it. It looks amazing. It looks just how I pictured it. It looks so cool. Now it's time to turn all of them on.
And the third one.
Look, it looks so cool. They're like a lightsaber. I love how they turned out. It looks like an entire breakfast.
Order up. Now it's time for all 3 of them together. I mean, look at it. It looks so cool. And they're so detailed.
Thanks for watching.